What is it, my cutouts cardboard ninja here, coming at you with a little addendum to my previous video that has to do with damage reduction and all that good stuff like that. So one of the things that I failed to do was show the actual difference, like the actual numerical difference. For those of people who were in the video game itself and they're like, okay, I can see the difference in the game, and that's in your visual learners, and that's good enough, then you don't need to watch this little add-on video. But this add-on video is for those people who are number crunchers, optimizers, people who are out there who are like, well, I really want to see the actual difference. Like, what is it? What exactly am I getting out of this? And hopefully you guys can see this number here being 9.1, which is the difference if a cabin has 1,000 durability, etc. And so here we have, just in simple numbers, you have your base health, which is what we'll be modifying. Your health bonus, this is basically the equivalent of a durability fusion versus a reduction. There we go. So now we actually have an actual direct comparison. And the difference over here is the benefit that you will have with a durability fusion over the damage reduction fusion. And this is if you have 1,000 base health. If you have 10% bonus health, you have a total durability, total survivability. The amount of damage that an opponent will have to deal you is 1,100. And if you have damage reduction, the total damage that an opponent has to deal you before you die is actually 1,090.9 damage. And yes, that 0.9 damage does matter. If they do 1,090, you will survive 0.9 damage. They have to finish you off the old-fashioned way, which is to death. All right. So when we start applying things such as bonus damage reduction, if we add an averter to this, that brings you to 23.03% damage reduction. And if you add an averter to this, that brings the total damage reduction to approximately 28.5% damage reduction. Just adding an averter to a cabin that already has an HP bonus, the difference is 68.33 hit points in favor of durability fusion. Doesn't sound like much. People are sounding like, well, maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe most builds have like, what, 1,500 hit points or so. And so the difference is about 100 additional hit points. That's 100 durability that you don't get based on the fusion. You paid the same amount of money, you fuse the parts, everything comes out exactly the same, but the only difference is you survive with 102 more hit points. That is almost the equivalent of an extra APC part at 1,500 health. But there are builds out there that are designed to have a lot of hit points. So you think of brick builds, think of mine tugs, think of Leviathan bricks. Well, those sit around 6,000 hit points. And at a 6k hit point build, that would be your standard anti-Levi brick. If you're in Levi CW and you're running around with your cohort and your double retchers, things like that, you're looking to have around 6 grand hit points. If you're fused for 10% additional health and have an averter, you have an equivalent of 8,119.98 or 8,120 hit points to 7,710, which is a difference of approximately 410 hit points in your favor. Remember, they're both fused, they're both identical, you paid the same cost, but you're getting 409.98 durability to your advantage if you have a durability fusion. Finally, Leviathans. Leviathans sit around 10,000 to 11,000 durability. So we'll split the difference, and we're going to go 10,500 hit points. This is a difference of 717 hit points. That is a lot. So just so we're clear, your effective durability is 717 more. That is the equivalent of 5.5 APC roof parts more durability in your favor just for fusing your cockpit for hit points. That's what that 10% hit points means when you come across damage reduction. Hit points plus damage reduction equals the greatest gains. Damage reduction plus damage reduction, not so much. And finally, if you were wondering how this would work with the, let's just say you were using the Bastion cabin and they did strike the front plate, you just double your hit points from here. So effective durability here is a difference of 717. Well, actually, ignore this. It's going to be 50% of either of these, but the overall idea being that you'll just double this in your total durability. So this thing would have 14,209, but if you manage to get 10,500 hit points and they struck the front plate, your total durability would be 28,420-ish, give or take. So that's an example, just a more direct number crunchy example for those of us out there who want to see this in spreadsheet form, want to see numerical evidence that durability fusion outperforms the damage reduction fusion, and by how much, it's, again, a pretty big difference. And this all comes down to the way that damage reduction is calculated. Hence the reason why it says 28.50, but in reality, this is a fused cabin for durability plus an averter. So this is 40% damage protection, and this is only 30% damage protection added to this. And this is, of course, something that you would get if you activated the cohort as well. If you increased it to 60% damage reduction, I could throw those numbers in here too. But ultimately, long story short, this 10% bonus hit points goes a very long way. And there are other things that do this, such as for other parts, not specifically not for cabins. But for example, the Colossus is going to increase the durability, not damage reduction, of your movement parts. And so therefore, if you use that combined with Grizzly, which will increase the durability of your entire build, or the Cohort, which will increase the durability of your entire build, then those add, and this will, of course, go with the Hermit Wheels. If you're moving fast enough, the Hermit Wheels will, of course, get their own internal built damage protection, and so on and so forth. And that bonus hit points from the Colossus stacks with that just magnificently. And of course, there is the Machinist Cabin, which will work on weapons, which will give you more hit points, which when combined with an Averter or combined with a Omamori will give you more bang for your buck. But long story short, any point in time you have the option, you want to combine hit points bonus with damage reduction. That will always be better than pure hit point bonus plus hit point bonus, and will always be better than pure damage reduction plus pure damage reduction. All right, sorry, just gonna bang out this addendum video and get out of your hair. Peace.